Well guys, here we are back in Marble Falls, Texas at the museum, the Falls on the Colorado Museum. This building here was built in the 1880s and it was a college here in Marble Falls for a while. Then it went to a high school, and then it was the executive buildings for a while, and now it is a museum. So we're gonna go and we're gonna check out the history of Marble Falls, Texas, and see what this museum has to offer. But it's pretty neat to come into a building that still stands from the 1850s. So let's see, or the 1880s. So let's see what we've got going on in here. And now today it won't overheat my GoPro because we'll be inside, thankfully. So let's check this out here. Here's the historical marker for the building. Adam R. Johnson donated land for this site. Construction of the present two-story granite building completed in 1891. I had it wrong. It was Falls Alliance University near Backbone Creek. East of this main building, a wooden boarding house was built for the students. The property was sold later in 1891 at a sheriff's sale, but continued to be leased for use as a tuition school. In 1908, the local voters chose to buy the structure, and it had been used for classes by Marble Falls School Districts since that date. And this was donated in 1980. So let's go in and see. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it off. There's a few people here. It says they are indeed open. So let's see what we've got going on in here. Okay, we've already got that. And here's the main desk here. A little sign-in area. I've already signed in. So let's go see. There's a few other people here that I'm gonna try to not get to so I don't invade their privacy. But this is a Mormon Mill Pioneer Settlement of Burnett County. So this is one of the first settlements in the Marble Falls area. There is a road here named named Mormon Mill as well. Wow, this is a big old grist mill. Let me see if I can back out. The original grist mill from the Mormon Mill settlement. Let's go see what's in here. Lyman Wright, Mormon Mill founder. So this is one of the first people that came and settled in the area. There's a huge story on him right here that talks about everything. If you want to take a screenshot or pause it, you can read up on it if you can read that, but it would take me forever to be able to read every bit of that. There's the Mormon Mill Cemetery. Mormon Mill is actually a part of Marble Falls. It's inside the city limits. It's still called Mormon Mill to this day. It is over just east of Marble Falls. There's actually still a road to this day named Mormon Mill Road. So the settlement and all that still stands over there.
Yes, sir.
Here's the grist mill and how it works. I'm not even sure what a grist mill is. The corn was husked. Okay, so it does corn, grinds corn, stuff like that. So that's pretty interesting.
10-foot road.
Here's what's called a drive gear, little page improved water wheel. I guess this helps make the grist mills work. Some old lanterns, and these were all donated by the local people. So these are all from the actual settlement, and it's actual from that date. So here is the gentleman again, Lyman and Harriet Wright. So that's he and his wife. Those are easily back in the early 1800s. Some of their the original Bible, I guess his wife was Leslie, and this is her Bible. You can see that's really old and torn up. I guess it's named Mormon Mill. I guess they were Mormon, because here's the Book of Mormon and the other book of Mormon called Articles of Faith, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know much about the Mormon religion. Some cedar pegs and square nails. I guess this is what he built his cabin with. There's some of the cedar pegs here and some square nails. from that time. Relics picked up from the site of Mormon Mill on Hamilton Creek in Burnet. So that's actual nails that built the house, and there's the glasses right there. There's the Mormon Mill swimming hole. I've heard stories of my family actually going and able to swim in that back in the 1970s, 1960s. There's the family here that settled on Mormon Mill, and I guess they were polygamist. Wow, okay. There's a little bit more. I guess he split from the LDS church. Okay, here it looks like that's all that's left of the cemetery that's over there. Here's some more books that were on, I guess, on Mr. Lyman's desk. He had the Holy Bible, the Book of Mormon, and other books and ledgers. Map of 1850 Texas showing the route taken that they took to get here, I reckon. And photos of Joseph Smith and White and his wife Harriet. They had some writing instruments and the spectacles, the glasses I just showed you, and the oil lamp and candles. There is the oil lamp, and there's the candles, and looks like a little grinding tool of some sort. But that is the settlement of Mormon Mill, which is one of the very first settlements in this area. Here's a dress from that period. How would you like to wear that in the Texas summer heat? And this, I mean, it's the full dress here. It says it was the pioneer women wore that in the Mormon settlements. So let's go over here. And again, if you remember when we walked in, this is actually a building there's a school. There's some stuff they've got for sale. If you remember from when we walked in, this is actually a school from the 1890s. It used to be a college. Here is a older photo of facing towards Marble Falls. There's the bridge still crosses right there to this day. It's a totally different bridge. This building right here is still there to this day. We call it the greenhouse, but this is why Marble Falls got its name. It's because of all the falls that they, I guess, looked like marble back in the day. This is all covered up now by water. This is the Colorado River, so it's Lake Marble Falls again. This building here, the foundation was there back when I lived here, but it has been since covered up by Chili's and a couple of other restaurants and a hotel over there. So, and there is the founder of Marble Falls. I don't remember his name. Okay, his name was Adam Rankin Johnson. He founded this town in July 12th of 1887. If I'm not mistaken, he was blind as well. If you look close, you can see the glasses on there. Here's a plat map of Marble Falls, one of the original ones from that time. Here's a little timetable of Marble Falls, 1830. The founder was born. And it goes all the way down. Again, it's gonna, if I read the whole thing, it'd take a while, and this vlog would last years. Here's the first city officials of Marble Falls. This is way back in the day. 1907. They were elected June 8th of 1907. We go into, looks like the Madeline Fraser room. This looks like, oh, some school stuff, I guess, from back in the school days. You know what? When I went to school here back in the middle school, I remember we had a gym that were below some bleachers of a gym that was built I would say back in the 50s, and these look like the same lockers that were below the gym. So who knows, maybe one of these, when I lived here, was one of the lockers I used for PE. Couldn't tell you, wouldn't remember. Here's some of the clothes and stuff that they wore. Sorry for the mounting, I think they're remodeling some of the place. Here's some track meet first place ribbons from Johnson City, Texas, which is about 30-45 minutes from 1952. Here's a letter jacket from 1930s. It looks like it belonged to a Mr. Don Cood, who worked for Marble Falls ISD from 1929 to the spring of 1938. He was superintendent, principal, and football coach. He recorded 46 wins, 36 losses, and 6 ties. His students all went to school in this building. There's some of your medals and stuff from winning some of the things in high school that you can win. It looks like some All-State Dallas, looks maybe some track, some band. There's another letter jacket with band on it. And if you know, if you keep up with track in the Olympics, this gentleman is right here is actually a friend of mine, Leno Manzano, who won silver in the 1500 Olympics back a couple of years ago. There's some older 1949 football jersey. And I guess these are some of the Army uniforms from some of the people from this area who served in the Army. Thank you to them for sure. My niece was in the Marines. There's some of the people who actually went to school here. It's kind of hidden. Doesn't have a year on that, but that looks like maybe some of the people who went here when this was a college. Looks like they range all the way up from maybe 5 years old all the way up to adults, but that building that's behind them is the building we just walked into. Here's a 1972 through 1976 United Air Force uniform. And this I knew from a while back. If you've ever heard of the Blue Lacy dog breed, it started here. And here's some, I guess, some more people who went to school here back. Again, that building is the building we just walked into. A couple of record players. Let's see what we've got down here. Pieces of the bridge, I guess, that they demolished, okay. Commemorative brick. This brick, number 39, was blown from a 105-year-old Marble Falls School Administration building on Friday, May 13th, 1994. If I'm not mistaken, that might be the year we had the tornado. I could be completely wrong. There's some of the teachers and stuff, I guess, that taught in here. So let's back up from there. And so far this, I mean, growing up here, this is actually really interesting for me. You've got, I'm not quite sure what that is. It looks like maybe one of the deals that I think the bands hold on the parades. I think that's the banner maybe, if I remember right. I remember seeing older parades that they carried banners. Here's children at school in 1924. Not sure where that one's at. That building. Okay, it shows it's right behind. It was right behind here. Okay. George Washington Carver School. A world globe. This was used in the middle school. It was located in buildings in the late 1960s. So that there is just a just the base that there would normally be a globe in there. Some older FFA jackets from Marble Falls High School. Looks like you got some Letterman sweaters. Back in the 50s, they did the Letterman sweaters instead of the jackets. There's a football from 1981 Mustangs. They look like they finished 8-1-1 with the names of Rex Schnelly. You know what? I believe I know that gentleman. There's a U.S. Army uniform from a Melissa Minson. Thank you to Melissa Minson for serving. Okay, that's from President Johnson. A note to tell you how good it made me feel to receive your thoughtful wire this morning. Yeah, can you believe a time from wiring? They didn't write letters, they wired them. From 1938, Lyndon B. Johnson. He wasn't even the president yet, if I'm not mistaken. School song. That's another building that is actually right next to us that I can show you on the way out. There was a high school as well. It looks like an old diploma from 1928. Look at this. That is an old scoreboard. Looks like from the basketball court. I mean, that thing is gigantic. That is big. Wow. This looks like this is what controlled the scoreboard that we just looked at. And there's the first uniform that was used by the band. I was in the band. That looks really uncomfortably hot for this weather. There's a trumpet on the ground, or in there. A couple of more of the Marble Falls flags. The football history from 1908 to 1993 was there. There's another old jacket. Some of the old, looks like an older desk that was in one of the classrooms here. Wow, look at that. There's a handbell. The first grade in this classroom for many years. Miss Avis Michael Vincent taught first grade in this classroom for many years. She stood on the steps of the building and rang this bell to call the students inside from recess. So I guess she taught in this exact room that we are in right now. Rules for teachers. Each day the lamps will be filled and the chimneys will be cleaned. Each teacher will bring a bucket, water, and scuttle of coal for the day's session. Make your pens carefully. You may whittle nibs to the individual taste of pupils. Men teachers may take one evening each week for courting purposes, or 2 evenings a week if they go to church regularly. After 10 hours in school, the teachers may spend the remaining time reading the Bible or other good books. Women teachers who marry or engage in unseemly conduct will be dismissed. Every teacher should lay aside from each pay a goodly sum of his earnings to benefit during the declining years so that they will not become a burden on society. Any teacher who smokes, uses liquor in any form, frequents pool or public halls, or gets shaved in a barber shop will give good reason to suspect his worth, intention, integrity, and honesty. The teacher who performs his labor faithfully and without fault for 5 years will be given an increase of 25 cents per week in his pay, providing the Board of Education approves. Can you imagine those rules as a teacher? Here's the senior high class of 1960, 1961, and 1962. I have no clue what this is called. I've seen them before. It's where the record player, an Edison, I don't know, that might even be the name, where you put the record player in top here. Yeah, it's an Edison C250 phonograph from 1914. Wow. This thing is big too. This isn't just something super small. I mean, I'm not very tall. I'm like 5'3". This thing is a good size. And here's just some of the older class pictures. That doesn't have a date there. This is 1956, 1953 up top, 1952, 1955, 58, 57, 54. My mother was born in that year, 1954. 1950. And again, the buildings that are in the middle are the building next to us that I can show later. I wish GoPros had a zoom on them, but they don't. These are just all older. I mean, 1947. Here's a diploma, what they look like. 1905 from Miss Martha Mamie Duckett. So that diploma is from 1905. Here's just some other. Here's what the dormitory looked like that I read when we first got here. Just a couple. That's the building we're in now, which is right there. And there it is, the building we're in right now, back when people had the horses and stuff there. All right. All right, here's one last look again. This looked like, from what I read a minute ago, this was originally a first grade classroom. I like history and things like this, especially from the town you grew up in. So let's go check out some more of the stuff here. It looks like this video is going to be all in one go because there's really no way to cut it up. There's stuff everywhere. Oh, we're on the wrong side here. Let's go. Well, we can go here and then go around. There's looks like they had the lake lowered and the bridge here up top. There's some of where the falls would look like here. Those are all covered up right now with water since they've dammed everything up around here, and it's now formed Lake Marble Falls. There's some of the falls originally. There's that greenhouse that I was talking about earlier, which is actually still there. There's some granite. I know they have a pink granite. Sorry about that. The GoPro overheated again. We are now in a different room. This looks like some of the administrative products, things that were in here when this was a school. There's an old desk. Wooden desk was used at the Marble Falls Railroad Depot. A telegraph machine fit in the insert and could be stored under the flip portion of the desk. Okay, so they put the telegraph here. The Railroad Gazette's right there. Here's I guess some of the people who used the railroad. It looks like they paid $1 to go on the railroads. There's an old telephone, I guess they hung on the wall there. There's what the railroad looks like, which I can do a video of that because it's still there. There's original from 1893 shingle. This gentleman here is William Leon Whitman, was in the U.S. Army from 1917 to 1918. I guess that was his uniform there. Here's a couple of other older, this I think is the first mayor of Marble Falls, which is her right there, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. I don't see her name anywhere, but this is probably maybe some of the dresses she wore. Again, I'm not quite sure. Okay, here it is. Yes, that's who it was. Bertie Harwood was the first elected mayor of Marble Falls in 1917. And that's her right there on her horse. Sorry for the reflections. Let's see if I can get around them. And her right there. And I guess these were some of the dresses that she wore. So dresses from 1872. Trying to stay in some circulated areas so my GoPro doesn't go get too hot again. I'm trying to, some of the places here you can feel the air conditioner. I'm trying to stay in those areas. Okay, here are some, I'm not quite sure what these are. Here's some kid gloves, dressers from the early 1900s, just some older things from some houses in the area. This here is a prayer chair, a style used in homes and haciendas in the early days of Texas. So this, you just, I guess, go and kneel down right there and, you know, say your prayers and stuff. There's some of the old clothings from the 30s that people wore in the area. Some hat boxes. Here's an old treadle sewing machine. I love old sewing machines, for sure. I don't sew worth a darn, but I would love to have something like that. Here's an old bassinet, I guess they called it, baby crib, from what year? The 1860s. It says don't touch, so I'm not going to touch. Here's a friendship quilt. Guess that's what they used to make the quilt. And there's some cotton. There's a lot of cotton in the area. Let's go over here, and here's some more. There's a cedar chest with some more spun loom fabrics from the 1870s to 1889. Here's a quilt made from men's suits. A commode. How would you like that to be a commode? Before houses had indoor bathrooms, a bedroom would have a washstand with a rack for towels and possibly a shelf to put toiletries or tools for shaving. There might be a mug, a bristle brush for lathering the shave, razor stop, sharpener, and a bowl to serve as a sink. A mirror might be included or not in the cabinet. As you can see, this one had a mirror included. But how would you like that to be a commode? There's some of the stuff for the shaving. Throat lozenges. There's a dress, Nancy Jane Clark, 1890 through 1900. That's a black, I wonder, black dress. I always thought maybe those were morning dresses is what they called them, maybe? I don't want to say that's what that is, but that's just a guess. Here's an old chair. Some books, some cologne bottles from 1845. Cellar and stud box. Men did not change their shirts every day, so they just changed the collar. The shirts had a band at the neck and a button for the studs in the front. The collars were stiffly starched and they were sparkling white. So I guess they put them in there. That's what they formed them with. Those are, and some men's collar to be buttoned. Okay, those are men's collars from 1904. There's another oil lamp and an old clock. One of the, I guess those are looms. An embroidery hoop from 1800. So I guess that's how they made their clothes, was on that hoop. You can see up close. It looks like one of the things that ladies put around their neck when they wore dresses. And an old mirror there. Some old Sunday hats. In memory of Frida Marie Mitchell Powers, 1908 to 2006. And it was worn by her maternal grandmother in 1910. It's just a black bonnet. Let's go see what we've got in this area here. Okay, here is, if you saw my video on Main Street, Marble Falls, that is Main Street, Marble Falls right there, circa January 24th, 1915. Watch repair tools of Rudolph Richter, master watchmaker in the early settler of Marble Falls. So this was his watchmaking desk. It's a little piece of a watch right there. I guess where he keeps some of his tools. There's an old watch right there. Some more of his tools. The glasses here, if you can see, I don't want to touch, that he used to magnify the things with. Some more tools and an old clock, and then just some more old clocks. A National Cash Register, class 900, early 1900s. It's used in Michelle's Drugstore, which is on Main Street. Again, we saw that when I did my Main Street vlog, but this thing is gigantic. This thing has to weigh a couple of 100 pounds. Yeah, I'd say 500 pounds easy. But yeah, this is, actually when I was here, it was still called Michelle's Drugstore, and you could go in and get the drugstore sodas and ice creams and all that stuff. But look at this thing from the early 1900s. Let's go in here and see. Oh, wow. Copper-clad antique wood stove from the early 1900s with some cooking irons and some water pots. And look at this. I guess that tells you how hot the oven's getting. I would love to see in there, but I'm not. Here's some more. Here's a stove with a cookbook. Wow. An old pan. Meat yourself. This is 1941, George's Grocer. Sliced bacon, 25 cents for a pound. Silverleaf lard, 49 cents a pound. Tomato juice, 7 cents. How would you like stuff like that to cost that these days? Instead of paying $9 for 2 apples. Actually, I went the other day and paid $5 for 2 apples. It was ridiculous. Here's some more items they kept in their home. Looks like where they did their baking. You got your cookbook and your sifters and some eggs and rollers and stuff like that. This I've seen before, but I cannot tell you what it is. If anybody can tell me what that is right here, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. Here's our kitchen sink. I guess they would pump this like so back and forth to get the water. Ice cream maker, I know this from homemade ice cream. We used to do that growing up. Burpee Quick Change Sealer, home cleaning system from 1917. A butter churn over there in the back. Here's a butter churn and some more butter churns. I guess these are, oh, very cool. Here's an old kitchen table from 1850 to 1899. It was built in 1814. Oh wait, no, I'm reading something wrong there. It says an egg cutter, but I'm not seeing the egg cutter up there anywhere. But yeah, this is an old kitchen table. Here's an old tobacco pouch. And then old tobacco. Prince Albert velvet pipe and cigarette tobacco. And then some ice tongs. I guess maybe this was a freezer at one point. Cream separating milk bottles. Yeah, this was a refrigerator and a freezer donated by Barbara and Robert Johnson. Again, an old telephone here. 1915 wall telephone. That was in somebody's kitchen that lived here. There's the big old cash register. That's my favorite thing in the whole museum so far. I love that. I mean, that thing, again, I'm not very big, but this thing is gigantic. Like, I would need a step stool. No joke, to be able to operate that thing. Yeah, for sure. We have here some old stuff from the drugstores. There's some little medications and stuff back there. The litmus paper is in this little roll thing right there. Poison record book, some stamps. Michelle Pharmacy, that was on Main Street. I'll probably do another vlog on Main Street and I'll show you exactly where that is. Here's some more of the stuff that belonged in the pharmacy. That's what Michelle's drugstore looked like originally. And it burned down in 1927, if you can see that right there. I did know that. Scale. This math is cooler. I guess that's an old fan of some sort. You can see the blade on the inside. Okay, and if you look up here, there's Michelle's drugstore right there. This is all on Main Street that I vlogged the other day. A couple of weeks ago. If you look back on the videos, you'll see it. Some more Main Street. You can see Michelle's drugstore on the top right-hand side. There's some more buildings that were on Main Street. Sorry about that, it overheated again, but here's just some more. There's Main Street again with all your horse-drawn carriages, and that's inside a hat store. I'm gonna have to go a little quick on this one. I am gonna invest in another camera soon. I would say within the next week I'm gonna have to. This gentleman here is a good friend of mine. His name's John Arthur Martinez, and he was the runner-up of Nashville Star, if you remember the Nashville Star. A couple of years ago it played on TV for a while. Almost like The Voice, but it was for country music. Here's just some old sheet music from the area. Some more sheet music from the area. Here's just some more factory items from the local factories. There used to be a big factory over off the bridge. There's a little greenhouse I was telling you about. That was a gigantic factory called Mathis Factory. I believe they made, if I'm not sure, I thought they made mattresses. I could be wrong. There's some more of the factory here. All this stuff is still actually there. You can walk on this and go out to the greenhouse is what we called it. So, to me this is very interesting, I guess, because I grew up here, but we're almost done. I think we're about done here. Just a few more things to look at. Again, here you've got the city officials again. Yeah, we're all done. Well, that's the museum on the Colorado in Marble Falls, Texas. So thank you for watching the vlog. I apologize again for the hitting out and just not working very well because it kept overheating. I apologize about that. I am gonna look at getting another camera that does not do that as much. You know, there's one more thing I do want to show you. Bonus footage. This is a bison that was found here in late spring of 2013. Whole bunch of, but look at that skull. Look at that skull, that is giant. Wow, this thing is just humongous. This is how they were hunting with something called the atolol. Looks like just a short stick of some sort. Bison, it says when they killed the bison, everything was used. And some more on the bison. There's some art made with a lot of arrowheads that were found in the area. There's the thing, the Attlewall. I'm not quite sure how that works, but it's almost like a big bow, because there's your point right there, your arrowhead. And here's some replica pottery, I guess from the Indians that were in this area back in the day. There you go, there's a whole bunch of arrowheads back from many years ago, many years ago. This shows what Indians lived where. We are in the Tonkawa area. That's where we are right there. Some more art. There's some dinosaur tracks at Cow Creek, which is on private property, I believe. And here's a 3-year-old modern day bison bull. You know what, I find this neat right here because I played basketball on this ground. Here's some more Western stuff here. Some more tables and some old kerosene lanterns. Mule shoe and a horseshoe. Bug sprayer. There's some cast iron stuff, some chaps and a saddle. There's your real bullwhip and a gentleman named Bob J on his horse in 1910. Look at them Longhorn things up there. Old Texas license plates. A corn sheller. Weights and scales. These are some traps. A horse yoke and some barbed wire. A domed top trunk from 1880. Water troughs. Carved from the convicts on Granite Mountain. Granite Mountain's a mountain we've got up here, just pink granite. It's the only pink granite around in the United States, if I'm not mistaken. Some stuff from yeah, it's pink granite right there. It's just the different deals from the mountain. There's the Union workers. The Capitol was completed, if I'm not mistaken, with granite from here. Well, here we are 3 hours later. My battery died on my GoPro and I didn't have a way to charge it. But this video's over. Thanks for watching. If you would, please like this video, leave me a comment, and subscribe. I'm about 31 subscribers away from 100. And 100 subscribers in the first month, a little over a month that I've really been putting out videos, blows my mind. So to you that have subscribed, I thank you very much. I hope to keep putting videos out more regularly. I've got a few places in mind that they're exciting to me, so I'm hoping they excite you too. But come back and see me. But again, don't forget to subscribe to this video or to this channel, and that just keeps you in the loop when videos do come out. It doesn't cost a thing, just keeps you in the loop. So I'll talk to you later. See you next time. God bless.